In a world full of distractions, excuses, and broken promises we make to ourselves, only a handful of people ever rise to the top, and Tony Robbins has spent decades figuring out exactly why. What separates the extraordinary from the ordinary isn't talent, luck, or even intelligence. It's one single habit that the most successful people on the planet practice without fail, every single day. Tony Robbins, the world's most renowned life coach and motivational force, has worked with presidents, billionaires, and champions, and they all share this one defining behavior. This isn't about working harder or grinding yourself into the ground. It's about a fundamental shift in the way you think, decide, and act. Most people sleepwalk through life reacting to whatever comes their way, while successful people are always one step ahead, intentional, focused, and unstoppable. The gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't as wide as you think. It's bridged by one habit, one decision, one daily commitment. Tony Robbins is here to show you exactly what that is, and how embracing it can completely rewrite the story of your life. Before the world gets a chance to pull you in 1,000 different directions, before the notifications flood your screen, before the demands of others begin to pile up, there is a window. A sacred, powerful window of time in the early hours of the morning that most people carelessly throw away. Tony Robbins has studied the lives of the most successful human beings on the planet, and one pattern emerges with remarkable consistency. They own their mornings. Not casually, not occasionally, but with fierce, deliberate intention every single day. The way you begin your morning is not just a routine, it is a declaration. It tells your mind, your body, and the universe exactly who you are and what you stand for. When you wake up and immediately reach for your phone, scroll through news, or lie in bed consumed by yesterday's worries, you are essentially handing your mental and emotional power away before the day has even begun. But when you rise with purpose, when you move your body, quiet your mind, and set your intentions with clarity, you are stepping into the day as the most powerful version of yourself. Tony Robbins developed what he calls the priming ritual, a morning practice designed to condition both the mind and body for peak performance. It isn't about how long you spend on it. It isn't about having a perfect morning or following a rigid checklist. It's about consciously shifting your physical state and mental focus before external pressures have the chance to do it for you. Breathing deeply, expressing gratitude, visualizing your goals, these aren't soft, feel-good exercises. They are neurological resets that literally change the chemistry of your brain and the energy you bring to everything you do. What most people fail to understand is that your morning sets the emotional tone for your entire day. Science has confirmed what high performers have known for centuries. The thoughts and feelings you experience in the first 30 to 60 minutes after waking have a disproportionate influence on your mood, your decisions, and your productivity for the hours that follow. A chaotic, unconscious morning almost always leads to a chaotic, reactive day. But a morning built on stillness, movement, and intention creates a foundation of strength that is incredibly difficult to shake. The most remarkable thing about a powerful morning ritual is not what it does for one day, it's what it does over time. Each morning you show up for yourself, you are sending a message deep into your subconscious that you are someone who keeps promises to themselves. That identity begins to solidify. Your self-discipline grows. Your confidence expands. And slowly but surely, the person you are in the morning starts to become the person you are all day long. Champions are not built in the spotlight. They are built in the quiet, unseen hours before the world wakes up. The most successful people alive today, athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, creators, all protect their mornings like their life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. This one habit alone has the power to completely transform your health, your relationships, your career, and your sense of self. It asks nothing from you but consistency and the willingness to choose yourself first, even if only for a few minutes each day. And when that morning clarity and inner strength become a daily reality, you begin to realize that the next critical piece of the puzzle lies in something even deeper. Every single day, from the moment you open your eyes, life is asking you to make choices. What to think, where to focus, how to respond. And most people make these decisions unconsciously, driven by habit, fear, or the opinions of others. But Tony Robbins argues that this unconscious living is exactly what keeps the majority of people stuck. The truly successful don't let life happen to them. They decide what they want, and they pursue it with absolute clarity and conviction. The word decision itself comes from the Latin root meaning to cut off, and that's precisely what a real decision does. It cuts off every other possibility and commits you fully to one path. Most people think they've made decisions, but what they've actually made are preferences. They say, "I want to be successful," or "I'd like to be healthy." But a true decision leaves no room for retreat. Tony Robbins teaches that the moment you make a real, committed decision, something shifts inside you. Your mind stops looking for exits and starts looking for solutions. Think about the most defining moments of your life, the ones that truly changed everything. Were they not all rooted in a single decision? A decision to leave, to stay, to start, to stop, to believe in yourself when no one else did. Success isn't built in grand gestures or lucky breaks. It's built in those quiet, powerful moments when you look at your life and decide, truly decide, that something is going to be different from this day forward. That moment of commitment is more powerful than any strategy or skill you could ever learn. What separates high achievers from everyone else isn't that they face fewer doubts or fears. They feel all of it, the uncertainty, the risk, the possibility of failure. But they've developed the daily habit of deciding anyway. They don't wait for perfect conditions, complete information, or the approval of others. They make the call, they commit to the outcome, and they adjust along the way. Robbins calls this the habit of decisive action, and it is, without question, one of the most transformative disciplines a human being can develop. The dangerous trap that most people fall into is the habit of delay. I'll decide when the time is right. I'll commit once I feel more ready. But readiness is a myth. It never fully arrives. Every day you postpone a decision, you are actually making one. You're deciding to stay exactly where you are. Time does not pause while you hesitate. Life moves forward whether you're steering or not, and those who refuse to decide are simply handing the wheel to circumstance. Once you truly internalize the power of daily, conscious decision-making, you begin to see your entire life differently. You stop seeing yourself as a product of your environment and start seeing yourself as the architect of your own destiny. Each morning becomes an opportunity, not just to react to the day ahead, but to shape it. And as this habit deepens and strengthens over time, the results begin to compound in ways that will genuinely astonish you. But making powerful decisions is only part of the equation. There is a reason the most successful people in the world are obsessed with learning. Not because they lack knowledge, but because they understand something that the average person doesn't. The moment you stop growing, you start declining. There is no neutral ground in life. You are either expanding or contracting, evolving or stagnating. Tony Robbins has said repeatedly that the secret to living is giving, but the secret to giving is growing. And growth, real sustainable growth, begins with a daily commitment to feed your mind with something greater than where you currently are. Most people leave school and unconsciously decide that their education is over. They trade textbooks for television, curiosity for comfort, and wonder for routine. Years pass, and they find themselves wondering why life feels flat, why opportunities seem to pass them by, why others around them appear to advance while they remain in the same place. The answer is painfully simple. They stopped learning. They stopped asking questions. They stopped being students of life. And in doing so, they unknowingly placed a ceiling above everything they could ever become. Tony Robbins didn't come from privilege or academic achievement. He grew up in a broken, chaotic household with very little to his name. But from a very young age, he developed a hunger, a relentless, burning hunger to understand how the human mind works, why some people succeed and others don't, and what it truly takes to build an extraordinary life. He devoured books, sought out mentors, attended seminars, and invested every resource he had into his own education. That daily discipline of learning became the very engine that drove one of the most remarkable success stories of the modern era. The most powerful investment you will ever make is not in stocks, real estate, or any external asset. It is in yourself. A book read today can alter the direction of your entire life. A mentor's single insight can save you years of painful trial and error. A new idea absorbed and acted upon can open doors you didn't even know existed. Winners understand that knowledge compounds just like money does. Every new thing you learn connects to something you already know, creating webs of understanding that make you sharper, faster, and more capable than you were yesterday. What separates those who learn from those who truly transform, however, is the critical step of application. Information without action is simply entertainment. Tony Robbins is relentless on this point. You don't rise to the level of your knowledge, you rise to the level of your consistent, disciplined application of it. Reading a book about courage doesn't make you courageous. Studying success doesn't make you successful. It is the person who takes what they